Well, we're in the second day of the first week of Parliament, and it looks like it's going to be quite an exciting day with an interesting question time, general debate, and then some quite interesting bills coming up. Question time, some pretty standard stuff. The Leader of the Opposition asking the Prime Minister, does she stand by all her government's policies? Now, no one really knows what the questions are going to be about, but some of us think it might be about social investment. Other people might think it's about economic issues, and we'll have to wait and see. Then we go into some definite finance areas. We're talking about credit ratings, we're talking about business confidence, questions from the government and the opposition in those areas. And then quite an interesting parliamentary question from Todd McClay, whether the House will debate and vote on the revised TTP agreement before it's signed, and it was an issue that came up yesterday, and one where there's a keen interest in seeing the document, so that will be interesting. A couple of questions to Shane Jones, one about forestry, the other is about regional development. Some of the newer ministers are getting a bit of a run round. Minister for Crown Maori Relations, the Minister for Corrections, Minister for Local Government. None of them have answered many questions, and it's going to be interesting to see how they go. Unusually, we've got a couple of questions to members today on the Misuse of Drugs, Medical Cannabis and Other Matters Bill, which is a Chlöe Swarbrick bill, which will probably be quite a big feature later on in the day, but that comes after the general debate and after the Retirement Villages Residents Rates Rebate Bill. So that's a bill which means that people who live in villages owned by the big companies will be eligible for rates rebates if their income is low and the rates on their villages are high. So it's an interesting discussion to have. But undoubtedly the peak of the day will be a personal vote, a conscience issue around the Misuse of Drugs bill. It's one on which there's strong views held on either side. Some people think it's a really good bill. Some people think it goes too far. And I do know that there are going to be people from both sides of the House not voting with the majority of the members of their particular party. So while the general view is that it is unlikely to pass, it's likely to be a keen debate, and it's one where members will be trying to convince other members of their point of view, and if they are convincing enough, they might make a difference to the outcome. That doesn't happen very often in Parliament. We then go on to some other possibly not quite as interesting areas. The sentencing on livestock rustling amendment bill, the local government freedom of access amendment bill will probably round out the evening.